Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. Over the past few weeks, I've dwelled on certain things, and one of the things that has just stymied me, and I've talked about it, is the braided line on my spinning reels. After my reels sit a while and I'm not using them, and I go to use them, and there's no apparent drag in the reel. And I've been corrected by people that listen to the show when I've talked about this. They've come up with the answer. So I want to give you the answer that other anglers that have probably had the same problem, but were able to figure out what was happening, have passed on to me. What you need to do with your spinning reel, if you're going to use braid, and I highly recommend braid for a number of conditions. I think it makes fishing, I guess, just more enjoyable for me because I can feel the strikes better. I can cast farther. The line is strong. There's a lot of advantages. It doesn't stretch. But if it's spooled directly onto your spool, the spool won't maintain the friction with the line. It starts slipping. And that's what's happening. The drags are fine, but the drags can't work if there's no pressure on them. And so the line is just slipping on the spool. So what do? What people have told me, there's a couple of solutions, and it's really the same solution. But one person has contacted me twice and said, I've already told you once, I'm telling you again, basically listen to what I say. Put plumber's tape on the spool first. Put a layer of plumber's tape. That will maintain the pressure on the spool so your line isn't going to slip. It won't slip on the plumber's tape like it would on the smooth spool. Another person contacted me and said the best thing to do is put a layer of fluorocarbon or monofilament on the spool first as a backing, and then tie the right type of knot between the fluorocarbon or the monofilament and your braid, and then spool the rest of the reel with braid. If you do this, you won't have the problem. Bottom line is the braided line slips on a bare spool, and if you put something on the spool to make it to make more friction, then the braid won't slip and your drag will work perfectly. Now, it's a simple solution, and I probably should have come up with it, but I'd fished for a few years with braid, and I'd never had it happen before. And the question I still have, so for people that are listening that do have the answers that I might not have, is if I let out a lot of the line, that if I cast out, just cast out in the current and let my line go out, my drag isn't appearing to work. If I let maybe half the line off the spool, then rewind it, then it starts to work. I haven't got down to the bottom of the spool when I do this, but I'm sure there's a simple answer to this. But if you can use braid and not have problems, then you're going to enjoy fishing, I think, a lot more than if you didn't. It's as simple as that. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.